What's up, guys? This is David Chase Taylor of 911truther.org. Today is April 1st of 2026. So, based on breaking news and events, the CIA headquarters located beneath CERN at Lake Geneva in Switzerland is going to stage a joint IDF and/or Ukraine armed forces based attack, bombing, or invasion targeting multiple locations in Europe or Russia on the date of April 2nd of 2026, specifically to trigger World War III. Exactly how this attack is going to manifest itself in reality is obviously not known, but it appears that this is going to be a joint operation between the Israeli defense forces and the Ukrainian military that is going to involve what I've been calling the Shadow Army and the Shadow Navy. So Ukraine has a Shadow Army, Israel has a Shadow Navy, and they are going to work in tandem to give the impression of a full-scale Russian attack on the date of April 2nd of 2026. So this will likely feature, what we do know is that it's going to be chemical, biological, radiological, or nuclear in nature, likely featuring the mass deployment of choking agents, nerve agents, blistering agents, and it's either going to involve a decapitation strike targeting Vladimir Putin in Moscow, Russia, targeting European capital cities such as Berlin, Warsaw, London, Brussels, Paris, Rome, Vienna, etc. Or it's going to feature a border incursion targeting the NATO-Russo border, which spans from Finland down through Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, down into Belarus, and then of course Poland, and then Ukraine. Really quick, again, just for the record, the Shadow Army is a group of roughly 150,000 Ukrainian troops which allegedly died in the ongoing Russo-Ukrainian war. According to Wikipedia, there's 140,000 dead soldiers from Ukraine. I believe this number is grossly hyperinflated. We have more video footage of the Vietnam War and the atrocities that happened in that particular war than we do of the Ukrainian war, despite the fact that every soldier in the field is armed with a videotape or video camera on their cell phone, as well as drones outfitted with cameras. So this is largely a tit-for-tat drone war, and I believe that the casualties which are been most highlighted internationally by Donald J. Trump, we're talking 30,000 people a week, are just absolutely fabricated. And so they have developed this army because they're going to use this army as a false flag Russian attack on Europe, likely wearing Belarusian or Russian uniforms. In respect to the Shadow Navy of Israel, the Israeli Navy, it consists of decommissioned ships and submarines from the United States and the UK, as well as prototypes of advanced military equipment developed by Raytheon, McDonnell Douglas, Boeing, etc. Coincidentally, the date of April 2nd, 4-2 or 24 equates to the letter X, and this war between Russia and Ukraine started on X's, so this would be the third X. The date of April 2nd marks exactly 114 days since the CIA assassinated a UK paratrooper named George Hooley while training Ukrainian forces in Ukraine on how to paratroop. So the number 114, the 14 was previously the letter X in the Roman score, which was the Roman alphabet. And this is reflected in the X, the 4-2 or 24, which equates to the letter X in the English alphabet, the date of Thursday, April 2nd. So it appears that this man, George Hooley, who was Royal Air Force, he died in an alleged training accident, which appears to be a blood sacrifice offered up into this impending attack, whereby Thousands of Ukrainian forces, paratrooping forces, are going to be dumped into Europe under the guise of a full-scale Russian attack, likely targeting United States armed forces, military installations, and/or capital cities in Europe. Considering that the Ukrainian forces are in basically a head-on war with Russian forces, allegedly, according to the reports, it doesn't make any sense that they would be training for a paratrooping related event. Unless, of course, they were planning on going a large distance and going into enemy territory. So obviously, if they go into Moscow, Russia way, they're going to be shot down, so they would go into Europe, most likely with the aid of the Israeli Air Force. And then, of course, back on September 12th to the 16th of 2025, there was, in fact, a military exercise entitled Zapad 2025, which was held in Belarus, which borders Poland and Czech Republic, which was 150,000 Russian troops, and this was designed to foreshadow a group of roughly 150,000 paratroopers or soldiers from Russia attacking Europe, and those are going to be executed with the aforementioned Ukrainian armed forces. And of course, Zapad means west, and so this means that Russia is going to be moving west, likely taking multiple countries on the date of April 2nd, including but not limited to Poland, Ukraine, from Belarus into Latvia, Lithuania, Estonia, Germany, Czech Republic, Austria, etc. Also, the date of April 2nd marks exactly 1,336 days since the CIA staged Operation Breaking Dawn, which was the activation of 25,000 Israeli defense forces, which will likely be used to secure multiple capital cities across Europe on the date of April 2nd under the guise of Russian special forces, namely Spetsnaz, base attack. And of course, the date of April 2nd marks exactly 1,498 days since the CIA staged the Russian invasion of Ukraine back on February 24th of 2022. And of course, the number 24 is reflected in the date of April 2nd with the letter X, 42 and 24. So this is XX, which is called reflective numerology. Possibly most important is the fact that the date of April 2nd marks exactly 1,660 days since the CIA staged Operation Zapad 2021 in Belarus, featuring 150,000 Russian troops back on September 10th through the 15th of 2021. Of course, the number 1660. This has the number 16, which is indicative of the 16-pointed CIA star found on the logo of the CIA. And then, of course, the number 66, or two sixes, is 26, which equates to the letter Z, which is an acronym for Zionism. And that is because you have Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, an admitted Jewish Zionist, and then you have Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky, another admitted Jewish Zionist, basically working in collusion to attack Europe under the guise of a Russian-based attack and invasion designed to trigger World War III. Lastly, the date of April 2nd marks exactly 4,424 days since the CIA staged the first Russian attack and invasion of Crimea, Ukraine, back on February 20th of 2014. And of course, this also contains the number 24, 44, 24, which basically equates to the letter X, and the number D, or the letters DD equate to 44 equate to DD as in dead and died. So this suggests that, in fact, this numerology with the XXX numerology suggests that the CIA will in fact stage a massive attack on the date of Thursday, April 2nd of 2026. What we know is it's going to target multiple locations. It's going to be likely feature an airborne assault using biological or chemical weapons. It's going to be used to spawn a second global biological pandemic, and it's going to be used as an act of war to trigger World War III. So obviously, if the CIA stages any sort of Russian military offensive on the date of April 2nd of 2026, I kindly ask that you download this video and share it with local, state, and federal law enforcement, military, and intelligence officials, as well as with local, national, and international media outlets. Peace.